Hi guys! Welcome to day 15 of our free of cut review. And ang i-discuss naman natin today is statistics, measures of central tendency. Tapos mamaya i-discuss ko na rin yung science portion natin, which is the start of our earth science review. So okay, start na tayo. For the mathematics portion, statistics. Statistics is the branch of mathematics concerned with collecting, organizing, interpreting, and presenting data. Diba? Alam na natin yun. Tapos, meron dalawang main branches ang statistics, which are descriptive statistics and inferential statistics. Alam natin to sa research, no? Laging nababanggit yung dalawang yan. So, descriptive statistics, which is the kind of statistics that summarizes data through graphs, tables, and single representative values. While inferential statistics naman yung nagdodraw ng conclusion about a larger population from a sample. So, ang UPCAT guys, nag-focus yan mostly on descriptive statistics, ibig sabihin sa graphs, tables, etc. And guys, the pinaka-fundamental doon sa descriptive statistics is yung measures of central tendency, which I know you already know. Yan yung mean, median, mode. Ayan yung i-discuss natin right now. Okay, so, una muna tayo sa mean, guys. Ang mean is the average. Okay, sobrang familiar nyo na to. Ayun yung sum lang lahat ng values sa isang dataset, tapos i-divide nyo lang by the number of values na yon. Diba? So, ito lang yung formula dyan. Yan. Tapos, there are three properties of the mean that are worth memorizing. First, the mean does not need to be one of the actual values in the set, of course. Diba? Halimbawa, ang mean ng 2, 3, 4, 9 is 4.5. Diba? Second naman, if you subtract the mean from every value in the set and add up those differences, those are called deviations. The result is always exactly 0 because the mean is the exact balancing point of the data, diba? And third, if every value in a set is increased or decreased by the same amount, the mean shifts by the same amount. Okay? So, ang median naman guys is ito yung pinakagitna. Halimbawa, ito yung gitna. Ganyan lang lagi ang median. So, the median is the middle value of a data set once it has been arranged in ascending or descending order. Sobrang simple lang nan, guys. Tapos, para mahanap yon, kailangan mo muna i-arrange yung values in order, syempre. Tapos, kapag naman, guys, may add number, halimbawa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, diba? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Matik, ang median nan is 3. Pero paano naman kung even number? Ang mangyayari, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so, walang gitna, diba? Kasi 3 at 4, ang dalawa yung nasa gitna. Ito yung nasa gitna. Ang gagawin mo lang is get the average of that. Tapos, yun yung median mo. Okay? So, magiging 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. That will be 3.5 ang median mo. Nagets yun? Tapos, guys, the median divides a dataset into two equal halves. Half of the values fall below it, and half fall above it. Its most important feature, however, is that it is resistant to outliers. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kahit pa may extreme values, hindi pa rin magagalaw yung median. Kasi nga yung median guys, may pakilang siya about sa position and not sa magnitude. Ibig sabihin, halimbawa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapos biglang magkaroon dyan ng 116. Wala pa rin pakiyan. Kasi nga, ang median is concerned about sa position and not sa magnitude. Pero kung mean yan, isipin mo, diba, sobrang magbabago yung value ng mean. Gets yun? Okay, so dito naman tayo sa mode. The mode is the value that occurs most frequently in a dataset. So basically guys, ano lang yan? Bawa, meron ka dito 1, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7. 6, 7. Pero edi ang mode mo dyan is 6. Ganun lang siya kasimple guys. So, the mode can be applied to non-numeric data such as favorite subjects or blood types. Pwede yun. Halimbawa, nag-survey ka. Ang sabi dito, ang pinaka-favorite ng mga bata sabi, science. Edi science yung mode, yun. And a dataset can also have no mode. Halimbawa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lang, walang mode yun. Ang one mode, unimodal, 2 modes bimodal, or more than 3 modes multimodal, okay? So, dito naman tayo sa range and group data. Bali guys, the range is the simplest measure of spread. Basically, the highest value minus the lowest value. Halimbawa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kapag minus mo lang yung 6 tsaka 1, that is 5. Yun lang yung range guys. So, when data is already organized into class intervals, wait lang, ang range muna guys, it tells you how wide the data set is but says nothing about how the values are distributed in between. Bali sinasabi nila kung gaano ka-wide yung dataset. So, when data is already organized into the class intervals or group data rather than listed individually, we no longer know each exact value. Para ma-estimate ang mean, kailangan mo lang gamitin yung midpoint ng lahat ng interval as a stand-in for every value inside it. As i-multiply mo by the midpoint, ganun. Okay? So guys, para malaman mo kung ano yung dapat na measure na gagamitin mo, is kailangan mo magkaroon ng outlier sensitivity. So, the mean is pulled toward extreme values because it factors in every number in the set, including the extreme ones. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yun nga, katulad na in-explain ko kanina, pag biglang magka-116, bigla na lang magbabago, di ba? Yung mean, sobrang dramatic. Tapos, ang median naman, yun nga, in-ignore niya yung gano'ng ka-extreme ang value. This is why researchers often report the median income of a population rather than the mean. Kasi nga, a handful of very high earners can drag a mean income far above what a typical household actually earns. Nagets ba yun? Sana nagets yun. While ang median naman, it stays anchored to the middle of the distribution. Okay? So, halimbawa, magkaroon ng item sa UPCAT na sinasabi yung typical data. Ang tingnan nyo is yung mode. Yung median, wag yung mean. Okay? Okay, so dito naman tayo sa science portion. Meron dito mga word example. Pwede nyo sagutan yan. And may practice questions rin. May answer kina yan, of course. So, that's it for the mathematics portion. Okay? So, dito naman tayo sa earth science. Finally, tapos na tayo sa biology. Dito na tayo sa earth science ngayon. Pag-aaralan natin dito sa earth sci ay Earth's layers, minerals, and rocks for the day 1 of Earth Science. So, ano muna yung layers of the Earth? The Earth can be divided into 2 layers in different ways, syempre, no? By composition, kumbaga kung saan gawa yung mga layer na yon, and by physical properties, kung ano ba yung characteristics ng layer na yon, like, rigid ba siya, ductile, liquid, solid, yun. So, both systems describe the same planet, just sliced along different lines. Okay? So, tingnan muna natin yung layers of the Earth by its composition. So, meron tayong 3 dyan, di ba? The crust, the mantle, and the core. Okay? Ang crust, guys, ayan yung pinakamanipis. Yan din yung pinakalabas. And the only one humans have ever directly sampled. There are 2 types, which are the continental crust and the oceanic crust. So, ang continental crust, guys, mas matanda yan. Mas makapal, less dense, and made mostly of granite. Tandaan nyo, ha? Crust, mas matanda, mas makapal. Mas matanda, mas makapal, less dense, and granite. Gawa sa granite. Ang oceanic crust naman, syempre, mas bata, mas manipis. Syempre, mas dense, diba? Tapos, gawa siya sa basalt. Okay? Ang mantle naman, guys, it makes up the great majority of Earth's volume, extending from just beneath the crust down to the boundary with the core. The boundary between crust and mantle is called the Mohorovicic discontinuity. The basta Moho discontinuity, doon pa ako nabulol, no? Ay sa mantle yan, okay? Mantle and crust. Between the mantle and the crust. Ang core naman, guys, syempre meron ditong inner and outer core, pero ang core is mostly composed of iron nickel alloy. No sample of the core has ever been physically obtained kasi nga syempre ang init doon, and its composition is inferred from seismic and gravitational data. Isipin nyo, no? What if mali pa rin mga scientist? Tapos, syempre, meron din mga physical or the mechanical layers. Ito naman yung sinasabi ko na kung ano yung function. Kung ano yung behavior ng mga layers na yun. So, guys, meron tayong lithosphere, asthenosphere, mesosphere, outer core, and inner core. So, guys, ang lithosphere is yung rigid, brittle outer shell comprising the entire crust plus the very top of the upper mantle. Basically, guys, kapag litho, ano nga ba yung sa ML, diba litho din yun? Litho, basta entire crust plus the upper mantle, okay? Ayan yung component, ayan yung layer na kung saan, ayan yung mga tectonic plates, basically, the lithosphere. Ang asthenosphere naman is, it's a ductile layer below the lithosphere. Ayan yung very flowy. Like, it's a mechanically weak ductile layer below the lithosphere. Despite common misconception, it is not a sea of molten rock. It is solid rock that flows extremely slowly like a very viscous fluid because of the heat and pressure at that depth. The slow flow is what allows tectonic plates to move. Diba nga? Kaya nga, kung ang lithosphere guys, kung ang lithosphere is yung tectonic plates mismo, ang asthenosphere naman is yung reason kung bakit nakakagalaw yung tectonic plates na yon. Kasi nga, solid rock siya na sobrang flowy, sobrang viscous niya. Okay, so ang mesosphere naman guys, lower mantle na yan. Ayun yung mas malakas and more resistant to flow than the asthenosphere because the immense pressure from the overlying rock increases with depth. Bale, may sobrang mataas nga na pressure from the overlying rock and tumataas yon kapag mas lumalalim ka. So, ang outer core naman tsaka inner core, compare naman natin yan. Ang outer core guys, liquid. Ang outer core, liquid. Ang inner core naman, syempre, yung pinakamainit. Wait lang, ang outer core guys, liquid yan, tapos it's made up of molten nickel alloy. Tapos yung movement ng liquid na yon, siya yung nag-generate ng magnetic field ng Earth. Tapos ang inner core naman, despite being the hottest layer, ngayon naman to. Ang inner core pala guys, diba, siya yung hottest layer. Its temperature is comparable to the surface of the sun. That's a fun fact. And solid yon because nga, yung pressure dun sa kalaliman na yon sobrang extreme na that it prevents the metal from becoming liquid. Solid na talaga siya. Kasi nga, sobrang nape-pressurize siya. Hindi na siya kaya maging liquid. So, ang key points, okay, wag na natin discuss yung key points. Pwede nyo basahin yan. Key points kasi basically summary lang yan, di ba? So, dito naman tayo sa ating minerals, no? So, guys, minerals are the building blocks of rocks, okay? For a substance to be classified as a true mineral, it must satisfy 5 conditions. It must be naturally occurring. So guys, may kailangan na classification para maging mineral. Hindi lang yan basta-basta mineral water, ah. So dapat naturally occurring siya. Dapat hindi siya gawa ng tao. Dapat inorganic. Dapat inorganic, ibig sabihin wala siyang carbon, no? It's not made up of living things. And dapat homogeneous solid, like a liquid like mercury water is excluded, though ice qualifies. Ice qualifies as a mineral. And it should have a definite chemical composition, expressible as a formula, and have an ordered repeating crystal structure like yung lattice niya, which is why glassy substances like obsidian, lacking at internal order, are not true minerals. Okay, so yung mga nakabold niyan, yan yung mga requirements para maging mineral ang isang bagay. So since thousands of minerals exist, geologists rely on a set of observable physical properties to identify a specimen without lab equipment. So, ito yung mga ginagamit ng mga scientists or ng mga geologists na descriptions para ma-identify nila kung ano ba talaga yung isang mineral. So, you can read this, guys. Ito, screenshot nyo na lang, tapos basa-basahin nyo para mas magets nyo kaysa yung sinasabi ko lang na para ako nag-rap. Okay, dito naman tayo sa rocks. So, basically, guys, ang rock kasi, it's a naturally occurring aggregate of one or more minerals or mineral-like substances. Rocks are classified into 3 major types. Okay, so since grade 6 pa to inaaral eh. Ayun yung igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks, di ba? Okay, so rocks are classified, okay. All 3 are connected by the continuous rock cycle. So may rock cycle tayo, guys. Hindi lang water cycle. May rock cycle din tayo. In which any rock type can eventually transform into either of the other two given enough heat, pressure, or time. So guys, ang igneous rock kasi, ang igneous rock, siya yung it is formed when molten material cools and solidifies. Kapag yung cooling nangyayari slowly beneath the surface, the rock is intrusive. Extrusive naman kapag nasa surface na hindi na beneath. So, pwede nyo basahin yan. Screenshot nyo guys. So, go. Bale, ang sedimentary rocks naman is sila yung mga nagpo-form ng loose sediment that has been formed from existing rock. So, ang alam ko, ito yung mga nasa bottom of the sea. I'm not sure. So, yan, screenshot nyo guys yung sedimentary rock. Ang metamorphic naman, it is formed when an existing rock is called the protolith is transformed by intense heat and such pressure without fully melting. So, ayun yung mga nasa, mga nasa volcano yata. Okay, so ito lang yan guys. Ang igneous, balik cooled magma lang yan. Ang sedimentary, compacted or cemented sediment. Ang metamorphic naman, Basta existing rock yan na change ng heat and pressure without melting. So medyo marami talagang terms sa Earth Sci, pero hindi nyo sila kailangan aralin lahat since madali lang naman ang science portion of CAT. Basta alalahanin nyo lang kung ano yung pinagkaiba-iba ng sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. Okay, so that is all for our video today para sa science and mathematics portion. Meron na rin tayong word examples dito and practice questions. So, if you want na sagutan yan, just take a screenshot. And I'll see you in the next video, which I will film later. So, bye-bye!